Hey Men Warriors, it's Kate and welcome back to my channel where I share a weekly video every Monday about something menopause related. My mission is to instill in you that you can actually thrive through the menopause and not just survive. I speak to countless ladies who are struggling to such a degree. And you know what? There are so many things that we can do, which are natural, lifestyle related, that can make our passage through the menopause that much easier and that much more effective. I'm going to share some tips with you today about how to reach a healthy weight in menopause. I speak to, again, so many ladies, in fact, the majority of ladies who are struggling with their weight gain. It's one of those things, we get to menopause and all of a sudden we can get quite scrawny legs, or we lose our bums, and then all of a sudden the weight deposits itself around our middles. A lot of that is genetics as well, stress related, various lifestyle factors. So I'm going to sort of go over a few tips about, or to sort of explain why we put on weight, because there are several reasons for it, and then give you some of my top tips that I share with my fit family in our private community as to how to get the best results from what you're doing. And remember, it is never too late to start. Please never wait for Monday. Just start. If you're watching this and you're thinking, yes, I need to lose some weight, yes, I need to do this, just click the link in the form. If you're watching this on YouTube, click the link underneath the description, fill out that form, and I will get in touch and we'll have a chat about what would suit you best. If you're watching this on Facebook or Instagram, click the link in my bio, get my sparkle back, click that form or fill in that form. It's only a really, really short form. And again, we can have a chat about your goals and work out what your pain points are and suggest various ways that you might be able to help overcome that. So firstly, what causes menopausal weight gain? Well, it's several factors that cause it. As we get older, our muscle atrophy gets faster, so we break down muscle faster, we lose muscle faster. So if we have got less muscle in our bodies, it means that we're not burning up as many calories as we would have done before. So that's one major point to understand. Strength training is something I bang on about all the time. It is absolutely crucial for you as a menopausal woman to strength train, whether you want to or not, unless you want to run the risk, very likely risk, of getting brittle bone disease or softening bones. You want just to look more cellulite-y, you want to get weaker, your balance is going to get worse, your flexibility is going to get worse, risk of injury increases because, of course, if your balance isn't so good, you trip over things that weren't even there. And then, of course, because your bones are softer and more brittle, softer and brittle. I know that sounds a bit contradictory, but osteopenia and osteoporosis, they're the same sort of thing. Osteopenia is not as bad as osteoporosis. If you're falling over, you're highly likely to fracture something. That is, for the sake of just doing a few minutes of exercise, say 4 times a week, strength training exercise, it's an investment that will pay off on so many different levels. It's also great for your mental health. Anxiety is one of the big things that I hear with so many women going through the menopause. It will help you manage your stress hormones better. It's going to make you feel more confident. It's going to give you more energy. It will help you sleep better, which will also incidentally help you burn fat. I'll come on to that in a little while. But strength training, it's something you have got to do, unless you're pretty much guaranteeing poor health as you get older. We also become more sensitive to, as our estrogen levels fall, we become more sensitive to cortisol and insulin. Well, cortisol is one of our stress hormones, and you probably heard me say it before, but when we have more stress, it puts on belly fat. We have 4 times the amount of cortisol receptors around our belly. And that means that when we're stressed, whatever that stress might be caused by, it goes on to tends to go onto our belly fat. Obviously, belly fat, visceral fat, is the most dangerous type of fat. That's what increases your blood pressure. It can lead to various cancers. It can lead to various cardiac problems. So again, you really want to keep your fatty liver disease, you want to keep your visceral fat, your belly fat, down. It should be a main aim of yours. It can lead to diabetes too, a sensitivity to diabetes. So make sure, and we talk about diabetes so much, don't we? And yes, you can turn diabetes 2 around very often by lifestyle changes. But also, do you know how much that can impact? Because diabetes restricts the blood flow to a lot of our sort of extremities, which is why you hear of amputations with diabetes. Please don't think that, oh, if I get diabetes, I'll be fine. I'll be one of the lucky ones. I'm not going to lose my fingers. I'm not going to go blind. I'm not going to lose my toes. It is a very real danger. And again, we just roll that back. Just do a few minutes of strength training several days a week. It's going to help you overcome and counteract all those negative things that could happen to you as you get older, which are highly likely to happen. In actual fact, it's not just a could, it's likely to happen if you do not start to take measures today to improve your health. I don't want to scare you, but I just want to stress how important it is, because we get so used to hearing, well, we should do this, or, oh, I'll do it next week, and then you never do. The time is right. The time is now. When you have your health, you have nothing. Doesn't matter how much money you've got in the bank, you have absolutely nothing if you don't have your health. So consider that. So yeah, firstly, we lose our muscles decrease as we go through the menopause. It means that we need to be working extra hard to maintain that muscle. If you don't use it, you will lose it. Even people who were really strong and muscular in their sort of 40s, 50s, if they stop training, their arms look like they just got the bone and then saggy skin, or fat and saggy skin. So you do have to work at it to keep your bones strong. It's also going to help with your joints. I know a lot of people have joint pain with menopause. We need movement to promote healthy joints. Many of our joints are in a capsule, a synovial capsule, and that synovial capsule has synovial fluid in it, and that fluid requires regular movement in order to be lubricating and hydrating the cartilage, nourishing the cartilage, lubricating the joints. It also keeps your tendons and your ligaments strong. Tendons attach muscle to bone, ligaments attach bone to bone. You think about your knees and your ankles, which are main problem areas. How many ligaments and tendons do you think you've got there? A lot. So activity is incredibly important for that. If you have never ever done activity, you can still start. I can advise some really gentle workouts for you to get started with. They don't have to be like full on major things. You'll build up, you'll get stronger. Or if you are literally, you've never done a thing, just start walking regularly. Aim to try and start small. Aim for a mile a day. And then when you can do that mile a day without huffing and puffing, increase that speed a little bit and get that mile done. And then when you can walk that mile strongly, increase the distance, 1.5 miles, and keep building up like that until you feel you're at a stage where you can probably walk 3 miles at a reasonable pace without feeling like you're about to die. Then message me and let's get you started with some healthy routines, low impact, healthy, easy to do routines to get you building up that all over body strength, because walking is great, but it's not enough. You have to maintain a strong core. You have to have a strong shoulder girdle. You have to have arms that are strong. You need a back that's strong. So while walking is fantastic, it in and of itself, it's not enough. I do go on about strength training, but I cannot emphasize it strongly enough. Next one is we tend to sleep worse as we go through the menopause. We be working up with hot flashes or flushes. We might be getting anxious, and that's waking us up, because the sort of thermogenesis, so the sort of the temperature regulation of our bodies is poor as we go through the menopause. It does disturb our sleep, and when our sleep is disturbed, it has a negative impact again on our fat burning capabilities. Now, when you sleep well, we have three kinds. We have white fat and beige and brown fat. White fat is like the adipose fat. That's what most of our bodies are made of, the fatty bits. Brown and beige fat actually help burn white fat. They actually burn calories. They're beneficial for us. So when we sleep well, which is why you should really be promoting, encouraging yourself to sleep as well as you can. So turning off the screens, avoiding blue lights before bedtime, keeping your room cool. This is another reason, because a cool room helps to stimulate the production of beige and brown fat, which will burn up your white fat, or help to burn white fat. Basically, beige and brown fat burn more calories. Well, they burn calories, white fat doesn't. So when you've got a decent amount ratio. We've got very little beige and brown fat in our bodies. You have more as a baby, and then as you get older, the amounts diminish a lot, but we still have got beige and brown fat. So why not make that work to our advantage? So sleep in and of itself is obviously, that's where we restore ourselves. The beige and the white, brown and the white fat factor. You need a cool room, and the ideal is around about 65 degrees Fahrenheit, because when your body is cooler, you rest better, but it also helps to convert white fat into brown fat or beige fat. So just bear that in mind as well. You are going to be burning more calories because the body has to keep itself warm. So if your room's cooler, you're burning more energy to keep yourself warm. So just bear that one in mind as well. Sleep also affects our satiety hormones. So if you've had a bad night's sleep, you probably find you're reaching for the sweet stuff the day after, because your brain knows that it's not healthy, but it knows that that biscuit or that cake is going to fill you with immediate energy. Not good energy, but it's fast energy. The body just wants to survive. And when it's not got the right amount of hunger hormones because they're imbalanced because you slept badly, that's when you're more likely to make the bad decisions. That's why meal prep it can save you a ton of money, because also when you're meal prepping, if you batch cook, your oven's going on maybe once and then you're just heating things up gently. You're not wasting food because you're planning out your meals first in advance. You're cooking it all and then you're dividing it up and freezing it for meals ahead. Meal prep will save you time. I know it's just like, oh God, I've got to go and do my meal prep. Well, it's up to you. But if you want to get really good results, if you want to save time, if you want to save money, if you want to avoid reaching for the stuff that's going to make you fat, consider meal prep, because it makes a big difference. If you've got healthy snacks to grab, you're going to grab it, no matter how badly you slept. But if you haven't got healthy snacks to grab, you're going to grab something that's not so healthy, which is going to stick the calories on. And while I'm on calories as well, it's not so much about calories in versus calories out. It's been going on for ages about, you just got to balance, you need to be burning up more calories than you're ingesting. But the quality of those calories is so important. I always use the comparison of a donut and an avocado, and a donut probably has fewer calories than the avocado does, but the avocado is full of healthy stuff that will help you burn fat and keep you fuller for longer. The donut is full of rubbish. It's going to set this chemical reaction up in your body. It's going to create stress, belly fat. It's going to give you tooth rot. It's going to be bad for your skin. It's bad for your liver. It's just bad, full stop. It's full of fat. It's full of sugar, but it's got fewer calories. So if you are counting your calories, you're going to think, oh, I can have a donut because I've still got that amount of calories I can eat today. No, big mistake. Quality of calories is absolutely vital. So, and also if you're eating healthy calories, you're highly unlikely to overeat because you're getting the nutrition. You find if you go to one of those takeaway joints, like an hour later, you're starving again, or you're starting to feel hungry again, because it's nutritionally devoid. When you use food as fuel, plentiful, healthy-ish food as fuel, you've got to have your treats, but let those treats be treats, not a regular thing. They're not part of your regular daily, you don't have a treat for breakfast every morning. You don't need it. When you eat healthily, you have the energy. You get amazing results. When new ladies in my fit club start to follow one of our nutrition programs, and they're just like, I can't eat it all, to lose weight, and they're losing weight, and they're just like eating way more than they ate before, and it's just like, yep, that's how it works, and it's fantastic. But we have this belief deep-seated in our heads that we have to starve ourselves to lose weight. Starvation just makes you hang on to weight more, because you can't keep it up unless you want to kill yourself. So all you can do when you start to eat again, the body goes, rah, and it hangs on to the fat, it hangs on to the calories even more, because it's really clever. It just wants you to survive. It doesn't care how you look. So when you start to eat more calories, the body hangs on to those calories. It doesn't burn them up so much. It will slow down your metabolism so you don't burn so many calories. As well as you get more stressed. When you're reducing your fat, you get more wrinkly. We need fat. Healthy fats are an incredibly important part of a healthy lifestyle. Every day, unless you have an allergy, you should be eating seeds, nuts, avocados, olive oil, coconut oil. Obviously not all of them together, but you want healthy fats throughout the course of the day. You also want lean protein. You also want loads of vegetables and some fruit. Fruit gets a bad rap because, again, it's high in sugar, but it's healthy sugar. I'm not a great fan of juicing, because you're just taking the juice out and you're removing the fiber. The fiber is what you need to have when you're eating fruit, because it slows down the spike of the sugar into your blood system. If you drink orange juice in the morning, you think, oh, I start my day off really healthy, I have a bowl of Special K and fresh orange juice. No, change your Special K for oats. And if you really want orange juice, eat an orange. That's the best way. And have a big pint or a small pint of water with apple cider vinegar in it, because that will help you burn fat faster. So I'm on a bit of a one today. Can you tell? I'm so passionate about it. There is so much that we can do to help prevent weight gain in the menopause. And food marketing companies are so to blame. It's not your fault. It's the way it's designed. You know, you look at some breakfast cereals and it's got like a man running on the front, or a child jumping in the air saying, yes, I'm so healthy. And then you look at the ingredients on the back and it's just like, that's not healthy. That's a load of rubbish. So it's really, really hard. So please don't think, oh my God, I've been doing it all wrong, I'm such a failure. It's not. It's food marketing companies which are really to blame, but you can educate yourself. It's really, really important that you get good at looking at just at the back of the food label, carbohydrates of which sugars. If it's over 9 grams, I would stick it back on the shelf. I really would. And make sure it's got some grams of fiber in it. That's why oats are so great, unless you have like a sensitivity to oats, because they're like 0 sugar and they've got like 9 grams of fiber. I love my oats. I always have oats in the morning. So we've talked about strength training. We've talked about the importance of sleep and sort of white fat and brown fat. We've talked about sleeping in a cooler room. We've talked about managing your weight as far as the calories in, calories out bit goes, and the fact that you should be eating healthy nutrition. You want plenty of nutrition. There's a couple of quick tips from one of our nutrition systems, which I think are brilliant. We tend to overeat. Carbs are not bad, by the way. We need carbs, but we tend to overeat. So like if you have a meal of spaghetti bolognese, you've probably got a massive bowl of spaghetti with some bolognese sauce on the top. All that spaghetti you don't need. In actual fact, I wish I had one of my containers here. You need a small amount of spaghetti, and then you can have more vegetables, have it with lots of vegetables and some lean protein with it. Instead of having spaghetti, have zoodles or courgettes. So get a spiralizer. You can pick them up from the supermarket. You can get them from Amazon. There's sort of 12, 15 pounds or dollars. Spiralize your courgettes or your zucchini into ribbons. Ah, it's delicious. You pan fry it for just a few minutes in some olive oil or coconut oil. It is amazing. And so then you've got masses of veggies with your bolognese sauce on top, and it is divine. And it will help you lose fat rather than put fat on. Another great tip is cauliflower rice. So instead of having rice, because again, rice makes you bloat as well. It can make you really hang on to fluids. Brown rice isn't as bad as white rice. However, cauliflower rice is even better. So buy a raw cauliflower, just stick it into a food processor, the whole thing. You obviously break it up into florets, and then put it in the food processor for not very long. And it breaks up into these tiny, it looks like couscous or bulgur wheat. That I normally bake mine in some coconut oil in the oven, or you can pan fry it. You can steam it if you want to. For me, I just think it's a bit boring steamed. But you know, find what works best for you. But cauliflower rice instead of rice is, again, it's going to help you. It's going to help you shed pounds. It's such an effective way of getting more veggies in a really healthy way, and also not having too many of the starchy carbs. It's the starchy carbs really which we tend to eat more of. Again, potatoes are good for us. Sweet potatoes are good for us. Butternut squash is good for us. But we also need to be eating lots of the greener veggies as well, and the red veggies. You know, try and eat the colours of the rainbow. They really fill you up well as well, because vegetables are full of fibre. So make sure you've got plenty of vegetables, you've got lean protein, you've got healthy fats, and try and reduce the amount of starchy carbs that you're eating, particularly towards the end of the day. We need carbs for energy. So you don't need like a massive jacket potato at the end of the day. because what your body doesn't use will just go on as fat. So just bear that in mind. You can have a small potato, just don't have a massive potato. Try and find like other vegetables that you enjoy, and it can take a couple of weeks to think, oh, I'm missing my big potato, but it's amazing when especially when you start to feel and see the gains. It's kind of like, well, yeah, okay, well, that's working, and all of a sudden you don't miss them anymore. I didn't used to like sweet potatoes. Now I adore them, and it's just about giving it time for your taste buds to adjust, for your expectations in your mind to adjust, and to then start to feel and notice the difference in how you look. Then it makes it well worthwhile. So if you can swap a sweet potato for a white potato, sweet potatoes are more nutritionally dense. However, they've both got different qualities. So, you know, if you absolutely hate sweet potatoes, just have a smaller white potato, but make sure you're having lots of green veggies as well. Things like courgettes are just fabulous because they're absolutely full of water as well. Tomatoes, if you can eat things from the nightshade family, of course, potatoes belong to the nightshade family too, as do bell peppers, as do chilies, cayenne pepper, that sort of thing. Some people struggle to eat the nightshade families. You might have a sensitivity that you don't actually know that you've got. So, you know, if after eating tomatoes or potatoes or bell peppers, you notice a difference in your digestive system, it might be that you have a sensitivity to the nightshade family. So just be aware of that. Obviously, avoid or try and cut back on sugary, refined sugars and processed foods. I think that's a no-brainer. Drink plenty of water. We all, or most of us, need to drink more water. To work out how much water you should be having as a minimum, you weigh yourself in pounds. So if you weigh 140 pounds, you divide that by 2, so that's 70. And that is 70 fluid ounces of water that you should drink. So, for instance, if you weigh 200 pounds, you should be drinking 100 fluid ounces of water a day as a minimum. If you are having a lot of hot flushes, if you live in a very hot climate or a very cold climate, you need to be drinking more water. And you can't really, you can overdrink on water, but not that significantly. Not many of us do. So, you know, I think on average, I have about 6, if it's any guidance, I have about 6 pints of water a day, and I weigh probably 138 pounds. I might be 140 at the moment because I'm enjoying my beer and wine. However, I'm not a great fan of the scale because, again, please, when you're starting to lose weight, measure yourself and take photos. Avoid getting on the scale. It can be an indicator, but it's a poor indicator, because when you're strength training and your bones are getting denser and your body's getting stronger, you're replacing fat with muscle, and muscle's a very dense tissue. So your measurements are going to be going, but your weight might not budge at all. We have an 80-day, well, one of my favorite workout programs. It's an 80-day program. It's just like, it was revolutionary when it first came out. It's a relatively new program. It was designed for booty lift and cinching waist and all over muscle tone, but particularly booty lift and cinching waist. And we had people that started it who were obese, and they finished it and they looked, I mean, they were ripped. They looked amazing. Their weight hadn't changed at all. They just replaced fat with muscle, and they didn't look like the Hulk. That's another thing. I think a lot of women think, oh my God, I don't want to look like a man. I don't want to get, you know, too Hulk-like. You won't. We don't have enough testosterone in our bodies. Some ladies may have a tendency to put on more muscle than others, but they are few and far between. And if you're one of those, then, you know, there are other types of strength training that you can do. I would recommend that you lift lighter weights and do more reps rather than heavier weights and do fewer reps. That's just without going into it in any great detail. But for the vast majority of us, where we don't have enough testosterone in our body to create those sorts of muscles. So just bear that in mind. Kombucha. Now, you probably know I'm a massive fan of kombucha. I brew my own. If you are trying to reduce your alcohol, which of course really contributes to our belly fat, sickeningly, kombucha is a really good alternative. It does contain trace amounts of alcohol, but that's not why you should drink it. It's because it's a refreshing drink. It's a fermented drink, so it's incredibly good for your gut health, which is very good for your mental health, because many of our happy hormones get created in the gut, not in the brain. And it will help your digestion, which will help you process food better. It'll help you absorb nutrients from your food better. It'll help you burn your calories more effectively, because if your digestive system is working properly as it should, you haven't got stuff stuck in there for too long. You know, your motility is improved. As our estrogen levels fall as we go through the menopause, a lot of ladies get constipated. Well, you imagine that food is just sitting in there, getting denser and heavier and bigger, and it's backing up and it's backing up and it's backing up. That will have a negative impact on your oral health. It'll make you a bit more smelly, you get more bacteria. It's because it's fecal matter literally sat in your body. It's then eventually going to start to leach. You know, you're going to be adding toxins to your body which you don't want. So that's why having really good gut health is incredibly important, and maintaining our gut health when we go through the menopause. You can really help your gut health by lots of vegetables, lots of water, but adding fermented foods as well, like kombucha, like kimchi, like kefir, and making sure you're eating healthy probiotics. Oh, there's a helicopter going over. I'm sorry, I'm a bit of a helicopter spotter. Is it there? Oh, it's there. I think it's the sea rescue one. Right, so really those are my top tips. So consider quality of calories, consider these aren't in any order, this is just like trying to remember now what I've talked about today. Quality of calories rather than amount of calories. Sorry, yeah, quality over quantity of calories. Keep your bedroom cooler. Prioritize your sleep. Meal prep. Absolutely meal prep. Get into meal prepping. In fact, I have a meal plan prep guide. If you want that, it will help you. And I've also got a video on my Trello tutorial system series on YouTube that shows how I use Trello to help me with my meal prep and finding recipes and how I do my shopping list and all that kind of thing. So that if you want that, either message me or have a look on my YouTube channel. You'll find it's under my Trello playlist. Okay. So meal prep, strength train, try and minimize your stress, because that will put weight onto your belly. Drink more water. Consider alcohol substitutes, reduce the amount of refined sugars and processed foods, and consider healthy alternatives like zoodles or courgettes instead of pasta, and cauliflower rice instead of cauliflower. And towards the end of the day, make sure that you're eating less starchy carbs, because we don't need them. Carbs are for energy, and at the end of the day, unless you're a shift worker, most of us are going to bed, it will just get stored as fat. So bear that in mind. So I hope that was helpful. Thank you so much for your company. If you've got any questions, send them to me. If there's anything you'd like me to cover specifically on a future Menopause Monday, drop me a message and I'll make sure to include that. So have a great week, stay safe, and I will catch you soon.